Hey guys, I'm just driving to work. Just drop off a bunch of stuff at my new gym, and basically, I have about 10 days to move all my stuff from my old gym to my new gym, and there's just a lot of things on my plate right now. I have people helping me, but at the same time, I feel like I'm doing it all by myself. I have 2 outstanding websites that I got to do for my clients. I got income tax I haven't finished yet. I'm trying to move my stuff from my old gym to my new gym, and I feel really lonely. My relationship at home with my significant other is not the greatest, and basically, it's tough. It's tough when you feel like you're doing everything by yourself. But the reason why I want to shoot this video is that I think it's all about just pushing through and seeing how far you can go, especially if you're an entrepreneur or if you want to achieve greatness. It's about taking risk. Jordan Peterson said that we'll get rejected 98% of the time. We'll fail like quite a bit, like 80-90% of the time. Most small business fail within the first, I think like 80% of business fails within the first 2 years, I think. So I want to shoot this video talking about the loneliest time I ever had in my life. And basically, a lot of people don't know this, but I was in a very controlling Christian group at one time. Some people label it as a cult. And basically, I was in it for 5 years, and it basically took a lot of my time, of my life during that time. I was in it from, I think, when I was 21 till I was like approximately maybe 27, 28. And it took up a huge chunk of my time during that time. And when I left, I was by myself. What happened was I moved from Vancouver to Toronto to pursue my fashion career, and I didn't have any money, I didn't have any friends, and within about, I think, 6 months to 8 months, I met someone on the street inviting me to go to the church, and that's how I ended up going to that church. It's basically the church I was part of. It was called Toronto Churches of Christ, and they're part of the International Church of Christ, and basically it's a non-denomination, but they broke away from a church called Mainline Church, which came from the Anabaptists. And so I was raised in a Christian family, so I kind of knew the Christianity side of things, but I never took that very seriously. And so when I got invited, there was this very strong dynamic of a lot of young people just being almost like a family, and it sucked me in, which was fine. Some people were kind of standoffish, and they had their own personal space, but this church basically consumed you, and if you didn't follow what they ask you to do, they will give you a lot of pressure, and they will almost like blacklist you to the point where you're part of the church, but you don't get some of the perks. Like some of the perks are like dating, where on the weekends or whatever, you're encouraged to date within the church, and there'll be like rumors or gossip about you saying like you're not a very spiritual person, so therefore this person shouldn't date you, or vice versa. And it's a very controlling church. Anyways, I won't get too much into it. What I want to talk about was the time when I decided to leave. What happened was, 5 years into it, I realized that it wasn't for me. I realized that a lot of things they were doing did not gel with who I was, and the environment was very toxic. And it made me realize that it was almost dictatorship. It felt like a communist. And you have to remember, this is back in 2001 maybe, and the internet was still coming onto the scene. And I went online and I read about all the ex-members who left, and basically they were going through the same experience that I was going through. And I would talk to some people in the church, and they would say that that's spiritual pornography. You shouldn't read it or listen to them. They were bitter people, or they will say not every situation is perfect, or we're trying to make change, etc., etc. Anyways, the situation was when I left. This is how bad it was. I left, and I was sharing my room. I didn't have a lot of money, so I was living with a bunch of other college guys, and they all went to the same church. And when I left, I basically moved out, and I moved back in with my uncle, who is a pastor of a traditional Chinese church that was very, like, easygoing. And I felt really alone. I didn't really have anyone to talk to, anyone to share my experience. And then I went to visit my parents in Vancouver at that time. And they're a lot older, and basically it was over the Christmas break, and into the New Year. And I was sitting there by myself at Denny's at like 2 in the morning, journaling, talking about writing about my experience, and I was so depressed. I didn't have anyone to talk to. It was like New Year's Eve, and I was sitting by myself at Denny's. And I went back to Vancouver to visit, and all my friends were gone because I haven't stayed in touch with them. And for 10 years, I went back, and I was sitting at Denny's by myself, and I was almost crying. I mean, I basically cried a little bit. And what was painful was I invited a lot of people to come to the church also, and when I left, I told them, hey, I was leaving. I don't think this is a good environment. I think you guys should leave too. And I left, and I was madly in love with this girl, and things didn't work out. I don't think she really thought I was the guy for her or whatever, but I was head over heels for her. And when I left, I was also left. Prior to me leaving, she broke up with me, and basically that was 6 months before I left, and I was really heartbroken also. So that didn't help either. The fact that I was contemplating leaving, I hinted to her about it. She's a hardcore member. I looked her up recently, and she's still part of the church. She joined the church, I think, right after college. And now she's in her 50s, so she's been in this church for like 25 years. So I think it's going to be very hard for her to leave. I think she's still single. So yeah, so that's a really lonely experience when you're excommunicated, or when you leave a group of people that you spend like almost all your time with. That's how crazy it was. And now I'm kind of doing the same thing, where my personal life at home is not the greatest, and I feel like I'm struggling by myself, just like doing everything by myself, and things are not working out. Like, my finance is not the greatest. I run an MMA gym. I'm really passionate about it, but I'm not getting the student base that I want. I live in a small town, so it's very hard to get the student base. I know I'm very good at what I do. I feel I have lots of insight into training and fighting and stuff like that. And I have no one, I have a few students I'm sharing with, teaching, and I'm hoping that they will represent my school and fight in the big league, and but it's tough. It's tough. And so I feel down for myself sometimes, but I think back to the time where I left this church, this cult. And when I left, I was like 27. I'm going to be 46 in this week. And I didn't know anything. And it was scary for me. I was just getting on with my career. I didn't have any money. I just graduated from art school, and I just got a job. I work in the fashion industry, and I think loneliness, or feeling like you're doing everything by yourself, or not having someone to share with is probably one of the most painful things someone can go to. And I just want to shoot this video, talk about it, because there are probably people out there who are going through the same experience I am. anyways, just getting down to the nitty gritty. Being an entrepreneur is super tough. Trying to run an MMA gym is super tough. Running a martial arts school is super tough. When you are doing everything by yourself, if something doesn't work, it's like a domino effect. Everything just falls, and it's just like one thing after another, and it takes its toll on you emotionally, you know. So, anyways, I'm grateful that I have some legacy now. You know, I put a lot of YouTube video up. I have, you know, not a big following, but some following. My students are doing pretty good in the local MMA community. Like when we compete, a lot of times title belts are offered to us for my students to fight for. You know, I'm recognized now as someone who knows what they're doing, but it's still a struggle, and sometimes I feel like giving up.